All right, what's up, guys? So I haven't uploaded in a while. That's because I've been busy with other stuff. But I am out on spring break, and today I'm gonna be making an NHL playoff predictions in 2024, and just like what I did last year. So so and so yeah, we're just gonna basically be doing that. So let's get started. We're gonna be starting off apparently with Dallas and Vegas. Alright, so the Vegas Golden Knights being the 2023 Stanley Cup champions, and then they had they played very good at the start, but then once Mark Stone got injured, but then they got a massive losing streak. Then they dropped down really bad, and then ended up in the second place of the wild card in the West. But Mark Stone I do think is coming back for the playoffs, and then the Knights could come out more dangerous on the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights with the season series. Sorry, have the Golden Knights have won those 3 games against the Dallas Stars, but again the Dallas Stars have been they started off kind of but then for some reason they got into a huge winning streak, and then they just got into and then they just ended up in this spot in the league standing. So maybe Mark Stone be bad. Maybe could to potentially knock out the Dallas Stars. Maybe even sweep them. But maybe and the Golden Knights are my second team. So and you know what? Oh, whoops. I'm so sorry, but maybe I think the Stars are kind of just might be the stronger team. I'm gonna take the Dallas Stars in 6. I do think the Knights will win a couple games, but maybe the Dallas Stars will win 2 games, then take the series lead 2-0, and then the Knights will tie it up when there are 2 games in Vegas. But then the Stars will take the lead again, and then go back to Vegas, and the Stars will win the last game in Game 6. So that's how I'm actually kind of thinking it. Kind of like back in 2017 against Ottawa and New York. Ottawa won 2 games at home, won their 3 games at home, and then New York won 2 of their games at home, but then lost 1 at home, and then that made Ottawa win the series. Kind of I feel like the series will kind of go like that series back in 2017 against Ottawa and New York. But now this one's going to be hard. Winnipeg and Colorado. And now last night Colorado played my favorite team, Edmonton, and then I don't know what Edmonton was doing. They let the Avalanche just get 4 goals in just 12 minutes, 11 minutes, something like that. But yeah, it was a bit the Oilers could have done better than that. But we're not talking about the Oilers right now. Let's talk about more of the Jets and the Avs. So both have great defense, offense, and goaltender. Okay, I think better goalies. I would say the Winnipeg Jets. I would say the Winnipeg Jets has way better goaltender. Connor Hellebuyck, I would say, is the best goalie in the NHL right now at the moment. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not as good as Grant Fuhrer or Patrick Waugh, but still Connor Hellebuyck's one of the best goalies ever in the NHL, and he has been outstanding this season. Made a lot of saves for his team, and even the Winnipeg Jets team itself has played really good. Played really good against Vancouver last night, the Canucks, and managed to beat Vancouver. And I would say Colorado's defense is better than Winnipeg's, and especially with Cale Makar, who is the best defenseman in the league. And yeah, this one, and Nathan McKinnon is one of the best players in hockey world right now. Like Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. And yeah, I really don't know who could win this one. Okay, so do I want to go Colorado or Winnipeg? So maybe Colorado could take this one. Maybe maybe I'm actually gonna go with Winnipeg. I will say not Connor Hellebuyck good to it. This is gonna be a close series. The team overall, Winnipeg this year has just been really good in just a long time, since 2018 in hockey. And I do think they have what it takes to take out the Avalanche in the first round, but I think it's gonna take them 7 games to do it. This will be a good series. But now Vancouver and Nashville, and now Vancouver has not been in the playoffs for a long time. It's been since like 2015. Well, I mean, technically it was 2020, but I actually don't really count that one because they were because without the COVID virus, like then the playoffs wouldn't be like that weird in 2020. It would just be, and then it would just kind of then it would kind of just be Vegas and Winnipeg and Edmonton and Calgary. That's how the Pacific playoff series would go. But yeah, then they did manage to get past St. Louis, and then went on go on to face Vegas, but then they got knocked out by Vegas, and then sent Vegas to the third round. But then they lost against Dallas. So, all right, but let's talk about Vancouver and Nashville. And now Vancouver has had some games where they don't get a lot of shots on goal, but then do get a lot of shots on goal. And the games that they don't get a lot of shots on goal, they still seem to win because Thatcher Demko, the goalie of the Vancouver Canucks, has been really good. Guy like that, like those games back in 2020 again, when he was playing against the Vegas Golden Knights. Like the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 6 got 49 shots on goal in 2020, but didn't allow any Vegas goal, and made all 49 saves that Vegas made. So. And yeah, man, and then Thatcher Demko did kind of have some bad years, but then this year, like he's had a really good year, and same as Saros, the Nashville goal, like Nashville goalie has had some pretty good games, and yeah, and Vancouver, like, and even some games like where they do get shots and goals like really fast, and they do get good shots, and I just feel like the defense has been better this year for Vancouver than Nashville, and and I do think. I'm not. I do think Nashville is good too, but Vancouver has been an outstanding year. I do know Vancouver has not made the playoffs in a while, and it may be a bit hard for a bit new to them. And they could get knocked out in the first round because they haven't made the playoffs in such a long time. But I have a feeling that the Canucks could beat Nashville, and it could be possible that Nashville could beat them just because Vancouver hasn't been in the playoffs for a while, but. I just feel like the Canucks could do it in 5 games, actually. But now Edmonton and LA. Okay, and then now this is gonna create a big rival. My favorite team, and then the LA Kings. Will Ferrell's gonna be mad, and now. Now both of these teams. Edmonton has been outstanding except near the end. They lost against. Arizona. Had no idea how they lost against Arizona twice, and then they did not play good at all in their last game against the Colorado Avalanche. But overall their season, like, they've been really good, and they had an absolutely poor start at the start of the season, but then got into a 16-game winning streak, and then that was managed to be the second biggest winning streak in NHL history, just behind the 1992 Pittsburgh Penguins. And yeah, and LA's been kind of average this year, but they have but lately their past few games, I would say they've been playing very good. Obviously, Adrian Kempe and Anze Kopitar and players like that. And now their goaltender is okay, and Edmonton's goal, I would say, is meh and good, because like some games Stuart Skinner, he can make a lot of saves and then have a good game, but just some other games he just does not show up. Stuart Skinner. But overall, I would say Edmonton's goalie is better than LA's goalie, and obviously I would say they always have better players like okay, Adrian Kempe, Anze Kopitar are both good players, but you can't forget but you can't go wrong with Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and Zach Hyman. And man, this is gonna be a tough year. I do kind of have a bit of a feeling that LA could come out dangerous and mad at us for facing them 3 years in a row, and also beating them 2 years in a row, like what happened last year. Like, we were watching the game last year in the Hotel McDonald in Edmonton, and then when Kyler Yamamoto scored that goal, we were all just going crazy, and we were all so happy, and then with the last 3 seconds to go, the LA Kings were just trying so hard, and we were all stressed out. And like our hearts were going fast. My heart was going fast, obviously, but they managed to take out the Kings in 6 games last year. And honestly, I do think the Bruins have what it takes to do it again 3 years in a row. I think they'll take it in 6 games this year. I think they can beat the Kings 2 years in a row. I meant 3 years in a row. Sorry, and I think they could do it again in 6. So yeah, and LA obviously because Oilers have the home ice advantage. If it goes to Game 6, it will be in LA. And yeah, speaking of LA, I mean I was just in LA a few months ago, just in Universal Studios, just in LA, and it is a nice city. All right, but now I gotta move the camera to the east. All right. Alright, now for the East. Hold on, I gotta get... Something's not working. Alright, there you go. Alright, so now for the first one of the East is Florida and Tampa Bay. Now, just like last year, just like last year, I was not expecting Florida to make it that far last year. Like they have been and managed to get themselves to the final. They still lost against Vegas in 5 games, which I was happy about because Vegas is my second team. But I'm even expecting Florida to make it far this year as well. Like both the Florida teams, Tampa Bay and Florida Panthers are both extremely good teams. Even if Tampa Bay does beat them, I do even feel like they could even take themselves to the 3rd round or even the final if Tampa Bay wins. But even if the normal Florida Panthers win, I even could think they could even take themselves to the final or the 3rd round for the 2nd year in a row. Like both these teams are absolutely amazing teams. Like both of these teams are still like a final teams. To be honest, I mean Tampa Bay, like they've had an okay season, but then like their season was okay this year, but them making it into the playoffs, like I can also see them doing really well in the playoffs, and obviously Steven Stamkos and Nikita Kucherov, Victor Hetman, and I would say Tampa Bay's goalie is way better, but Andrei Vasilevsky, I would honestly say he's better than Sergei Bobrovsky, but overall, maybe Florida could be the stronger team. I don't know. I have a feeling that maybe Florida could take it. I would say honestly in 7 games. I am gonna pick Florida. I'm gonna pick Florida. Like I feel like Matthew Tkachuk and I don't know if Barkov's still on the team or not, but yeah, I feel like Sergei Bobrovsky could also be a good goalie. Even though I said Vasilevsky, I think is better. Like I still think like Florida's a strong team overall and still can get really far in the playoffs this year. And this one you guys might get mad at me for this one because Boston, Toronto. And now Toronto has been the biggest meme in the NHL just because like they spent so many years not getting past the first round, but they managed to get past the first round last year against Tampa Bay. So the Boston Bruins are my least favorite team. My least favorite team. I just don't really like them, and I'm not just saying this just because I dislike the Bruins. I seriously think Toronto does have a good chance of getting past the could finally get their revenge on the Bruins after all these years that the Bruins have been putting, after all these years that the Bruins are putting the Maple Leafs pain on. Like they've been, I don't know, how do I say it? Not just ignore it. So, yeah. So after putting the Maple Leafs through all that pain, that's how I say it. After putting the Maple Leafs through all that pain, through all these years in the playoffs, I honestly do think Toronto does kind of have what it takes to defeat the Boston Bruins. Like they play good hockey. I feel like Austin Matthews or John Tavares, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander, those are all good players. I think the normal skater players on Toronto, I do think are a bit better than Boston, but I think the goaltenders like Allmarker is better. Like the goalies are better on Boston. I'm not saying like this Maple Leafs will sweep them. I do still think Boston will win some games. I think this game will end in 7 games. And David Pastrnak and Patrice Bergeron, both of those players are really good players, and even Brad Marchand's really good. But I just feel like Toronto could have what it takes. I swear I'm not just saying this just because I don't like the Bruins. Like I do think Toronto could have a good chance of actually taking out the Boston Bruins this year and making it past the first round for the second year in a row, and it could stop being a big meme in the big meme across the NHL, and people could stop making fun of them. And then New York, Washington, and now at the end of the season it was against Washington and Detroit to make. And now Detroit's actually my third team, so I was definitely cheering for Detroit. But then sadly they couldn't because the Capitals won their games. But now I don't. But now this is kind of controversial. I'm gonna mean because the Capitals do not deserve to be in the playoffs, and the Rangers have kind of seemed to be unstoppable this hockey season, and it's just I don't even know. There's not much to say, and I'm sorry, Ovi, but I just think the Rangers will sweep the Capitals. I don't know, like it could very likely be like the Capitals can make it past the first round against the Rangers, but in my opinion, I think the Rangers were gonna absolutely sweep the Capitals in just 4 games. I don't think the Capitals are gonna stand much of a chance. I'm sorry, Ovi. But now for the final one in the first round, Carolina, New York. I think Carolina is actually the best team in the East, and then New York has been kind of having an ass season at the start, but then they stepped it up a bit with Matthew Barzal and Anders Lee, but I still think Carolina is still the best team in the league. In the Eastern this year. So. Okay, so I'm gonna take Carolina in 5 games. I do think Islanders will win one, but I think I'm gonna stick with Carolina with this one for 5 games, because like I think this is Stanley Cup final type team. Like there have been Carolina is just a really good team overall. Now Dallas and Winnipeg, another good series, kind of like the last Winnipeg series against Colorado and Winnipeg. Connor Hellebuck, I still think would be better than any of these team goalies in the league. Like Connor Hellebuck is absolutely an outstanding goalie. And now I do think the players overall on Dallas and the defensemen are better than Winnipeg's defensemen. I do think maybe Winnipeg, Connor Hellebuck could take Winnipeg to the 3rd round against Dallas if they did face each other. But again, like Tyler Seguin of the Dallas Stars and other I do think other Dallas Stars teams. What the heck? Why is this not working? Dang it. Why is this not working? Okay, I have to reset this. Oh my god. Okay, let me just reset this. Okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, there we go. Okay, I know. Okay, I think I'm gonna take Dallas. I just think Dallas is overall just a stronger team. I think they could get some pucks across the mighty goalie Connor Hellebuck. But I still think it's gonna go to 7 games because. So yeah, I think Dallas might be taking the series. There's just no noise going around here. No, 2 Canadian teams at the Pacific. Now Vancouver and Edmonton. Now Edmonton struggled with Vancouver this year, but then in the playoffs, I do think Edmonton could stand a better chance in the playoffs. Again, Connor McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman are good, but again, it's just 3 really good players. You can't just do it. It has to be the whole team playing together to win games in a whole playoff series. And Thatcher Demko could be a tough goalie to beat in the series. And yeah, I don't need this ad. Oh, whoops, I forgot to move it. My bad. Okay, so yeah, maybe Thatcher Demko could be a tough goalie to beat in this series. And maybe Stuart Skinner could be an easier. Okay, I'm not going to say it. It's kind of mean. Oh, nope. So, Maybe okay, so maybe Vancouver could have a good chance of making it to the conference final for the first time since 2011 and beat San Jose in 2011 and then lost against Boston in the final. Well, I mean, I'm not. I do think the Oilers play good hockey. Like I mean, like they can do sometimes have ass seasons, but for some reason they just play absolutely amazing in the playoffs, and I just feel like Edmonton could take themselves to the third round. No, Florida and Toronto. This is a rematch from last year in 2023, and now both of these teams are really good, and now and now this is gonna be quick. I'm not picking Toronto. Okay, I didn't mean to pick Toronto just yet. So can I move over to the East? Okay, I didn't mean to pick Toronto just yet. I still need to think about this one. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see it. You guys see it? Okay, that shouldn't fall. Alright, so... Okay, so... Okay, it's just Toronto that's showing right here. Florida's up there. So yeah, I think I'm honestly gonna take Florida. Florida's just has been absolutely outstanding. Despite the Florida State is not really of a hockey place, doesn't know like it's. I mean like these years that they play good, like their fan base is getting bigger just because how well they've played these past few years. Like these teams that's absolutely stand though, and I think they might do it in 6 games instead of 5 like last year. I think they can do it in 6. I know New York and Carolina, though, both of these teams are absolutely Stanley Cup victory teams. Like both of these teams are absolutely incredible. Like Mika Zibanejad or Sebastian Aho. Like both of these teams are both Stanley Cup champions. And this one's gonna be a hard fought series like between these two teams, New York and Carolina. And now which one do I pick? Now it was in like the goaltender of the New York Rangers is absolutely phenomenal, and all the players, Adam Fox, Tini Panarin, and Mika Zibanejad, absolutely amazing players, and also even the goalie. And same with Carolina players, Sebastian Aho and Teuvo Teravainen and Brett Burns and Jacob Slavin. Like all these players are just insanely good and just not. I think Carolina could take it in 7 games. I'm think Carolina is gonna take it. And now, moving now over to back to the West. Okay, now Edmonton and Dallas. A rematch back from the early 2000s and the 90s. Man, now both okay. So Edmonton's a good team. Like can't forget again. Like I do think Skinner could play good in the playoffs, and also Hyman could get a lot of goals, and Draisaitl, McDavid, and other maybe Cody Ceci could get a lot of goals in the playoffs. Like I'm expecting a lot of Edmonton players to actually play pretty good in these playoffs, and then Dallas's players Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn, like a lot of Dallas Stars players are incredibly good. I don't even know if Tyler Seguin's on the team or not still. I don't pay too much attention to the Stars other than I know the part that they play extremely good. And now oh whoops, that happened again. Okay, there we go. And now I do think Edmonton could do some stuff. I just feel like I might just feel like, and this could be Edmonton's play. I do think Edmonton's great 2024 playoff run could stop here, and then Dallas can knock them out in the conference finals. But I do think Edmonton could send it to 7 games if they're gonna get knocked up by the Stars. I think it will take them 7 games, but to be honest, like the Oilers, they're like these past few years, throughout the whole like 2010, like 2014, blah 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 blah, like. They've been stinking up really bad, the Oilers, but then they stepped it up a bit, and then just for some reason started playing really, really good hockey, and even in 2022, like they managed to get themselves to the conference finals against Colorado, and even last year, like the Golden Knights actually even said like the Oilers were the hardest team to beat out of all the teams they faced in the playoffs last year. And like Edmonton, like I do believe they're a good team, but again, just some other teams, games in the season, they just don't show up. But again, like I do think they're a good playoff team. But it's just like if they do play a team that is really strong, like Vegas or Colorado, like they could get themselves knocked down. And then same with Dallas and here in 2024, like I do think Dallas is kind of the stronger team. I do think it will kind of be the same with the other years when they face Colorado and Vegas, like they'll get knocked out. I'm sorry, Edmonton, but I do expect that the Oilers to win some games, send it to 7 games in round 3, and I do think the Dallas Stars will take Game 7. Alright, but enough chit chat about the Oilers. Now it's time to go to the East. Now Florida and Carolina. No, this is a rematch from last year's round 3, and Carolina got swept. In these years at Carolina, they made the conference finals in 2009 against Penguins and got swept, and then made the conference finals in 2019. They got swept by the Bruins, and then made it last year again, but got swept by the Panthers. So they seem to be losing in 4 games against these teams in the third round. Every time they make the third round, just sorry. That's okay. Okay, let me just. Sorry, this camera's this thing's being a pain in the butt. Don't blame me. Don't blame the little box I'm using to hold the camera. It keeps sliding down. So now I do think maybe Carolina could end this curse. Maybe even if they do get knocked down the third, I do think they could win some games against the team, whatever team they have to face in the conference finals, which in my opinion, I think could be Florida. And maybe it could even very likely be Boston or New York or Toronto. Not New York, sorry. They can't face New York in the third round. Sorry, my bad. They could either maybe even possibly face Tampa Bay, Boston, or Toronto. So, yeah. Now, Matthew Tkachuk, a former Calgary Flame player, he's been, for some reason, like, he's been playing very good on Florida, and Sergei Bobrovsky's extremely good guy. I even think the Florida goalie's better than the Carolina goalie, but I think maybe the players overall I just think overall maybe Carolina could be just a stronger team overall. So, what do I predict? I think Carolina is going to take it in 6 this year. And I predicted Carolina to make it to the Stanley Cup final, and then once they made it to the conference finals, like I expected them to make it to the finals and get the cup, but they didn't. Got swept in 4 games. And then I'm predicting them to make it to the final again. It's just Carolina is an extremely good team. All right, now the last one. It's Dallas and Carolina. And now, okay, so which goalies do I think is better? I'm gonna go with Carolina, the better goaltender. Defense, I'm gonna go Dallas with better defense. Oh, whoops! Why am I keep doing that with the Dallas Stars? And now, and I think Dallas's captain, I do think, in my opinion, is a bit better. Jamie Benn than the Carolina captain, whatever the Carolina captain is. I honestly don't really know. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. But both extremely strong teams. Both have a phenomenal season. Dallas having the home ice advantage, and now I do think Dallas could have a very, very. This year could be Dallas's time to shine with the Stanley Cup. It's very possible that the Dallas Stars. I do think the Dallas Stars have a very good chance of getting the Stanley Cup. It could very likely be very good teams like New York, Boston, Florida, or Carolina. And even same with Carolina, but even other East teams like New York, Florida, even like other teams like New York and Florida can make the final. Like the East teams are just so much better than the East teams these past few years. And just other than Dallas, Dallas is a Stanley Cup final team. Like like Dallas is extremely good, but now overall, what am I gonna pick? Just now Carolina, like I think is the best team in the East. And now, what do I think overall? No, I think this might be take to 6 or 7 games. Whatever team could win. And now, overall pick. Now, if I think overall who can be the stronger team, I think I do I kind of have a feeling that Carolina could honestly take the cup home back to Raleigh, North Carolina. Because I like last year when I predicted them, like there very likely could be another team like like the Florida Panthers, like again like could very likely be the Stanley Cup champions, but in my opinion, I just think it could be Carolina. Like Carolina, like they're just too good of a team. Carolina, like they play really good hockey. Like that old like that broadcaster says on the like the Carolina broadcaster says when he says that's hockey, baby. I mean, he's not wrong. Like Carolina hockey, like it is true hockey. Like Carolina Hurricanes are an extremely strong team overall, and like they could very likely take themselves to the Stanley Cup final. And even win the final against a really good team. Like even if they face against the Winnipeg Jets or the Edmonton Oilers, like I still think Carolina could win either. Even Vancouver or Colorado. I honestly feel like Carolina could be any of those teams. But I could be wrong if any like Colorado, Winnipeg, or Edmonton face Carolina. Like very likely any of those East teams could be Carolina, but it's just in my opinion. I think Carolina has a really good chance of beating any of these West teams because I do think if I think Carolina would have the hardest times with any of these Western teams, I think Dallas would be the hardest team to beat for Carolina to defeat, in my opinion. But I do think Carolina has what it takes to defeat any of the good West teams like Edmonton or Winnipeg or Colorado or Vancouver. Like Carolina, they're just an absolutely outstanding and very strong team overall. And alright, and I think we're getting close to the end of the video. I've been recording for 30 minutes, so and I'll start uploading this video when we have Wi-Fi. So, alright, and I think that will do for the video, and I'll show my face because you haven't seen my face for a long time. So, peace and out.